SWIFT and Ripple. What problem does that solve? Why is that the conversation now? Well, basically, the issue is when you transfer money or one type of currency for another type of currency. For example, if you're sending money from the United States in dollars to Mexico in pesos, that's one of the things that Ripple and XRP begins to look at: cross-border transactions. Now we typically use corresponding banks, which we're going to go into a little while. The current systems we have that we use to transfer money, one sort of currency to another sort of currency, is a couple of ways. We use something called the SWIFT messaging system, FedWire, chips. All these technologies are at least 50 years old. When I was in the industry, I remember them, and they don't scale too well to what's going on in the world. In a world of decentralized financing, and when you have the potential of bringing on 2 billion more bank users under decentralized finance, the big issue, again, or if I hadn't mentioned, is time it takes to make this transaction and the bank fees. You really don't have many options when you're transferring money from one currency to another currency. You may have to use MTOs, or money transfer operators, which a lot of people use. The most common ones are MoneyGram, Western Union, but again, they're very high cost, they're very slow. They could take days. One of the issues that you need to be concerned with when that happens, or at least the corresponding bank or the MTO, is that currencies fluctuate. They change over time. They can change over seconds. And therefore, you have to build in some type of range or arbitrage, let's say, additional cost to accommodate the fact that you may have bought the currency or put in, tried to sell the currency at one price, and the currency has dropped, or the currency has risen, which affects the price. Now, this is going to be a little technical, but stick with me. I need you to bear with me. What is Ripple? Ripple is a blockchain payment system, and what Ripple uses is something called XRP, and XRP is a token on Ripple. Don't switch me off yet, okay? Ripple uses its backbone, its system that this token operates over. This is XRP, I'm sorry. It is called RippleNet. And the benefits of RippleNet, as opposed to what we talked about, the older technologies, that is RippleNet processes in 4 seconds. It has a very efficient algorithm. Its cost is low, and the trust factor is extremely high. Now I'm gonna give you a little example. You see this $50 bill right here? If I took this $50 bill and I handed this $50 bill to my son, you would all have on your computer systems, if you were computers, you would all have a copy of this. So I would not be able to come back and say that never happened. I might be able to append it, but that official copy will be distributed and stored in all your computers. That's the trust aspect of blockchain. Because that happens, I can't come back and say I did not make that transaction because you all have that recorded. Okay, now this is going to get a little hazy, but for some of you guys who understand how Bitcoin works, it's going to be a lot easier. In Bitcoin today, there's something called proof of work, which is not environmentally friendly, and it's not as efficient. XRP or Ripple does not use proof of work. It uses something called proof of stake. And what that does, it gives the same, almost the same effect of proof of work without using any computer power to compete for mining. It reaches a consensus amongst the computers on the network, its trusted computers, and decides whether or not that transaction should be treated like when I gave my son that $50 bill, whether it's official. All blockchains, one of the chief things they have is distributed ledgers, which means that there is no central point of failure, and the proof of the transaction is spread out and can only be appended but not removed. So they're much faster, they're much more efficient than the traditional money or MTO systems. Now we're going to talk a little about what is an XRP token. A token is simply a voucher. You can think of it almost like a membership in a country club. Okay, it gives you certain privileges that people don't have without tokens. It's not ownership, but it gives you privileges. Now, taking the token and attaching that to something tangible, like a painting, or making that token represent money, is called tokenization. That gives, it's almost like giving your credit card number to them, which allows you to make the transaction. Or it can even be, a tokenization could be like taking a passport and digitally transmitting that into another element, but that element is trusted. You can exchange, most tokens can be exchanged, traded. Some of them grow in value, some of them just provide you rights, voting rights, let's say. It's somewhat similar to a stock. You can obtain a token from the common places, token exchanges, like Coinbase and Kraken and Binance. Let's talk about some specific projects that Ripple XRP is working on. There's some travel projects they're working on. There's some large projects that they're working on with commercial banks. Most of the banks that you do business with today are experimenting with XRP. Think of it as a bridge between two different fiat currencies. There's a court case right now, I believe, I don't know if they got a Wells, was served with a Wells paper, but there is a court case going on that is a tremendous case going on against Ripple that may have ramifications across the entire crypto industry. It's whether or not is a token a security or should it be treated as a token. But beware. There's a lot of volatility in this. It's very highly speculative. All the regulations have not been washed out. There's still a lot of things coming down the line. And don't get involved with it just because of FOMO or fear of fear of missing out. Do your research. I personally think there's something here. And if you like the presentation, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe and have a great day. Bye.